Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday, the 14th of December, 2021, and this is your host, Riri, welcoming you to another episode of A Little Late in Crypto. Yesterday, we defined the terms bag holder and diamond hands and the journey from one to the other. And we talked about what bags the panel holds, and we got some tips on how to safely exit from your bags. Today, we will discuss how to select an IDO like a pro. We'll talk about our favorite Launchpad platforms, the best ways to conduct product research, what it takes to hype a project, and how market conditions can affect IDOs. Please remember to subscribe to the Dpad channel, hit that bell, and give us a thumbs up and drop all your questions in the comments and we'll get you answers. Let's dive right in to talking about our favorite Launchpad platforms, how to select a Launchpad like a pro.
I think it has been answered many times during our previous many sessions, like depending on the market cap of the Launchpad and probably previously performed IDOs on that Launchpad, and regarding allocation, so like how much allocation you are getting. So it's a mode of kind of selecting a Launchpad. But I think here the host have given kind of Launchpad. It means, I think, since we have so many 50 plus Launchpads and we cannot have tokens of all the Launchpads. Yeah, I think so. How to select the Launchpad? So it has been covered many times in the previous sessions, and to repeat, uh, IDO Launchpad, usually Launchpad platforms basically host upcoming IDOs, and all those IDOs have a like public sale allocation from their tokenomics, like maybe 1 to 1.5% to 3% sometimes, and sometimes even less than 1% for whole public sale, depending on the tokenomics. So this project has, usually depending on the market cap they are starting, and depending on the fundraise they had previously, and how much percentage they have allocated to the public sale, they usually have 70 to 300k as public sale offering for overall. And if the launch, if there are only one or two launch pads, so that will get divided into two launch pad, and depending on that there will be allocation of 100 to 150k, usually the size of any launch pad for that particular project. So why market cap of launchpad tokens is important? Because if you want to have a rationale behind how much allocation I will get from particular launchpad, provided all have guaranteed allocation. I mean to say, uh, launchpad giving you access to 100k allocation of that particular project. Now we have two cases. Say case one, the Launchpad token is valued at $20 million market cap, and second case, Launchpad uh, has valuation of Launchpad token has valuation of $100 million market cap. So you will get almost like 5 times less allocation in a Launchpad, where Launchpad token is valued at $100 million market cap, in compared to the Launchpad having valuation of say 20 million market cap. So you got the idea that depending on the market cap, allocation of the project, IDO project differs from various launchpad. And since now IDO projects wants to have multiple launchpads as their like launchpad partners, so they distribute usually equally among those launchpads. So among the various launchpads, if your project is very much hyped and you are like first time going into launchpad, probably you need to compare the market cap. This is just one factor apart from the second factor, which is very common, like how much more projects, basically what is the frequency of IDOs happening on that particular launchpad. So if a frequency is like 1 or 2, you probably need to worry about one or two in a month. I mean to say, you probably need to worry about like the price volatility of that particular launchpad token. So it will be like after IDO, the project token will, IDO launchpad token will prices will collapse or sometimes will maintain. That depends on the number of projects, because if that launchpad is offering like 5 to 6 in a month, it will have probably sometime sooner again a new IDO, and that will create some more hype for the and some more utility for the launchpad token. That will make it a kind of a stable rather than a launchpad having only two projects in a month. In that case, the price volatility of launchpad token will be more comparatively. Third factor will be like guaranteed allocation versus first come first. So we have covered it in our previous shows, I think. Uh, Fourth is like how easily and what is the time factor. Like I mean to say, how much time they give for the guaranteed allocation, and whether it is active time for you or not. So depending on the personal and geological location, they launchpad usually offer uh, allocation in usually suitable time. If the launchpad is offering only 5 or 10 or 30 minutes guaranteed allocation, you probably need to take care about that as well. But usually they cover this part. And if you are uh, good at like IDO allocations, and you will probably set your alarm before IDO's time, and you probably need not to be worried about this part. So yeah, almost I think it is covered. So the important point is like how many launchpad tokens you hold. If you do not hold any as of now, and you want to get into say a project IDO happening at two launchpads, so you need to consider two factors. First of all, what is the market cap of that particular launchpad? How much allocation is being offered by the project team to that particular launchpad? And third is the price volatility, which is mainly referred and mainly correlates with the how frequency of the IDOs happening on that particular launchpad. So if you have many launchpad tokens already with you, so depend whether you want to be into another launchpad token or not, it varies from person to person. If you want to hold, and if you're holding like almost 7 8 launchpads, and you are not worried about you want to get into every IDO, so you'll probably skip some IDOs which is not happening on your particular launchpad which you are holding the tokens. So you will be more prone, and you will be more like uh, kind of obliged, or sometimes you will feel okay, I have that particular launchpad token, and whatever the IDO will be happening on that particular launchpad, I will try to participate. If I find so much of alarms, red flags, probably I will skip, else I will usually go through that. And I think that is the way many IDO investors usually go through. If they found some red flags, then only they usually tend to skip, else they tend to participate and just see what is happening along with the market conditions. Like, see, even if I have right now so many launchpad tokens, but I am not participating so much actively than I used to be 2 weeks back, because of the market condition. Right now, IDOs are not performing, the private sales are not performing well. Uh, Although the hype is there of that particular project, not getting up to the mark. I mean to say, even yesterday, the Soul Chicks, it has I think 32 launch pads, and probably the one of the most hyped project, one of the most hyped, and as well as the projects with so much of record breaking, I mean records. So they broke many records like 32 launch pads, so much of private sale, and happening across like social media gainers, so much of things, so much records. And probably yesterday, the Solana even uh, kind of crashed, or you will say was not reacting. And even due to that, many times like it has to be delayed on the Radium. But yeah, it has also listed on MXC, so it probably was trading there, and people were facing so much of difficulties and so much time. It has to be like coordinated well with the Solana. Even you wanted to uh, do a transaction on Radium, it was not happening though, and you cannot check on the Sol scan, or sometimes it happens like that. So in a very high project, sometimes the Launchpad or even the chain is not on its own, but I don't know how it happened on the Solana. Even they claim to be very good, com- competitive
They
enough.
claim to be the fastest and
Yeah.
most
So, but
scalable.
yesterday it somehow kind of collapsed, I will say, in front of the massive traffic from the Solchik investors or the participant, or it has a massive initial market cap, or like $5 million market cap. I think none of the project, rarely any project have so much of initial market cap. So it has a fully diluted valuation of say $500 million. So it was amazing. I think I have seen only few projects with so much of fully diluted valuation. I think only one or two project. I think based on the I mean layer two of Bitcoin only. I think that project which Coinbase has investment. That's otherwise I have seen always like 100 million or 150 million max to max valuation of the any launching project as of now. And usually we get around 10 to 30 million dollar fully diluted valuation of any launchpad or any other IDO or any other gaming project as of now. So it was amazing, and somehow it caused so much crash or collapse of Solana blockchain. So it was like, I don't know what happened. And
Did they overload the network? Like they completely overloaded it because it was just the marketing team is happy with themselves right now if they did that.
yeah, it actually caused for like I think 2 hours, even more than that. Like if you wanted to do any swap, it was not happening on Radium, and like it was too slow to react. Sometimes you will not be able to see your transaction on the solscan.io, or sometimes even like, so that's too slow or too congested. You, I don't know what
See,
was.
it's very, very important to line up development and marketing. And if you don't line up development and marketing, you get those waves and you can't cover everything. It's an age-old problem with all kinds of technology. It's been happening since, the days of infomercials and having telephone waves. But when you crash that many consumers at one time on a product, and they can't take it, and then it hurts you so bad in PR, because then everybody's like, oh, it's broken, and your reputation is just, it's so rough. It's a good thing they've got 50 people on their team to go deal with that PR disaster. But
It will take
Yeah,
some
so
time for Solana now
yeah,
to catch up with their PR words.
yep, yeah, they're developers. Oh, they're yelling at each other today. They are. Passing the blame. It's his fault. It's their fault. It's her fault.
Yeah,
Not a good day in their office, probably.
definitely.
So I think I have already covered the Launchpad part. Like the one who had so much of investment in the Launchpads tokens will probably try to participate in projects which are coming on on the Launchpads, of which they are holding tokens, and probably for the new investors and probably who wants to invest into new Launchpad tokens will probably find a good project depending on the hype, and sometimes they will only compare or even will just go if that is the only launchpad that project is offering. So you will probably compare if if the token, if a project is launching their IDO on two launchpads or even more launchpads, will probably compare the frequency of the project happening on that particular launchpads and the market cap. That is just one tip, along with the other parts like the hype of the project, the market cap, the tokenomics part, how well is the vesting of that particular project. So it has no relation with the launchpad itself. And yeah,
Well, right. Yeah.
uh,
Project research certainly doesn't. Go ahead.
yeah. So I think I'm done with this first part, like launchpad. platform.
Okay, I can take up with the project research topic.
Okay.
Yeah, so since Dpad is providing a review article for upcoming IDOs, so we can share how are we evaluating the projects, IDO projects, how are we analyzing them. I'll take uh, I'll take you to the process that we use at Dpad to analyze project. So if someone has read our article, our review articles, then you can see we are using 9 parameters to analyze about any project. So, and then we take average of those parameters, and then we decide that how heavy is the project. So, looking at the 9 parameters, the first parameter we check is the idea of the project, whether it's a dumb idea or it's an innovative idea. Then the second point that we check is the website, mainly the display, that how the project has displayed their informations, their idea. So, and for all these parameters, we give them points between 1 to 10. So if a project has a very good website, then they mostly get 9 points, because till now we have given the highest point for the website to Sidus Heroes NFT project. They have got 9.5. Then next one, the best was this Soul Chicks. In the recent IDOs, Soul Chicks got 9 points in the website. Then I can also tell you we have given lowest point to Fab Wealth. They got just 4 points for their website. So this matters, because while checking the website, what happens is that we quickly observe that what is the quality of the team behind the project, how are they thinking, what are the capabilities. And like recently when we observed this project called Audit Chain, who got 5 points in our review for the website. In their website, the information was correct, but looking at the website, you can easily say the team is outdated. They are not. They don't know the modern trends of designing and this web development. So they got 5 points, and just by looking at the website, we can easily say that team the team members are very senior people, and which can be clearly seen on their website. All the team members are more than about 55 years of age. Only one guy was around 30 years. So the third point that we check is professionalism, that whether whatever the team is saying are consistent or not everywhere. So like oftentimes we can see there are spelling mistakes on the website, in the articles, on social media, or we see non-consistency, that whatever they said on the website is not consistent on their social media or in the medium articles. Everywhere they just the concept keeps wandering. So we give points for professionalism. In professionalism also, the Sidus Heroes and the Soul Chicks project, they got both 99 points. And the least point we have given till now is to Fab Wealth. Even a project which was very much hyped called Starchy, it was by the starter Launchpad platform. Even they performed very low in this professionalism and website part both. I guess that they don't have proper UI UX designer, proper design team. So then after we see token feasibility. We test that whether this token should exist or not. If a project, like recently we reviewed this project called Animalia. Before that we researched about this Audit Chain project. So we check that okay, sometimes what happens, the concept is very nice, the idea is very nice, it must happen, someone must build on that idea, but that idea doesn't require a native token. This is what we observe. But the team, they just want to have a token and leverage this crypto economics, so and leverage the hype around the crypto. So they just introduce crypto in any form, whether it is required or not. So and if there is a project which has a very good concept, like if an investor reviewed a project and it had a very good concept and it feels like investing in it, but the investor fails to analyze that whether the token is even required in the project or not. So we check for this token feasibility. It is a very important point. Means token feasibility checking is so important that many investors fail in this evaluation in this point, because they are overwhelmed by seeing a great idea, great websites, professionalism, great team, everything is great, but the token should not exist there. Then in any case that token won't flourish. So this is our most important thing, token feasibility checking. After that we see market fit. Now market fit is very important to understand in any startup. What does this mean is uh, there can be great ideas, but if the market at that point of time is not ready for that idea, then there's no point of that project. For example, we see this VR devices, Oculus, and some devices from this HTC, and then Samsung also introduced some VR devices. And we have been seeing VR devices since almost 6 to 7 years ago. But at that time in 2013-14, the market was not ready to accept VR devices. The mass audience were not ready, and the infrastructure were not ready. There were no app developers for VR devices. So even though there were companies building VR devices, there were no customers to buy them. And today, now there are some customers who are buying VR and all. And now, since Facebook is focusing on the metaverse thing, so maybe it's expected that they'll put more energy and to make this feasible for everyone, make VR devices feasible, accessible for the masses. So now we can say that after next 1 year or 2 years, this VR devices will become market fit. But in 2013-14, when VR devices were available, but they were not a proper market fit. Similarly, while analyzing some projects, we also check that whether the idea is good, token feasibility is also good. It requires a token, but we see that the market is not ready for this project right now. So if we are investing in that project, then there can be two chances. One is the project will die because the market won't accept it. And other point is that if the team has a very high persistence, if they can survive for let's say for a couple of years until the market accepts it, then that can be a case, like we have seen in many projects previously, where the project was not market fit, but the team survived somehow due to their persistence, and then they flourished. Even in Bitcoin case also, we can see when Bitcoin came in 2009, at that time it was not the proper market fit, but gradually in the next 4 to 5 years till 2014 and 15, it slowly started becoming market fit. Before that, only the techie and nerdy guys, they used to build on Bitcoin. So this market fit point is very important. Even though the idea may be very good, everything may be good, but if the market is not ready to accept that kind of project, then that project won't yield much. After this point, we check the team, which everyone knows. Everyone, any investor, while doing their research, they straight up go to the team and check how is the team and all. So that's a regular process that we follow. After that, we check for the partners. Who are the partners? How have the project associated with other stakeholders. Then next point is we check the white paper. In the white paper, we see various things, like we see the quality of the white paper, the design, the content, the focus of the project is clearly seen, and then the language. We also observe the language, that what is the attitude of the people behind the project. So whether they are also, by checking the white paper, we can very easily say that whether the team has proper technical guys or not, because and okay, so in the white paper part, we have also observed very big change in the white papers of the last bull run, which was 2017, and the white papers of this bull run 2021. So there has been a very big change in this white paper writing. At that time, the white papers used to include a lot of technical protocols and formulas and all these things. But this time, the projects are not including a lot of formulas and a lot of equations and mathematical calculations. They are not providing all those things in the white paper. They are mostly providing the business angle, the economics side of the project in the white paper. So that has been a very big transition in writing white paper. Then after, the last point that we consider is the marketing part. There can be projects who doesn't have a good idea or website, but they have done excellent marketing efforts. And there are many projects who have excellent idea, team, website, professionalism, everything, but they don't do much marketing. Either they don't know how to do marketing, or they don't prefer to do much marketing. Previously, what we have seen in the Soul Chicks had done the most hyped marketing till now that I have seen in the recent weeks. And previously, I had seen this project called Centrifuge. They did very low key marketing efforts, but the project was very good, and it's still performing great. So these are the 9 parameters that we at Dpad use to analyze projects, evaluate, and provide provide this research to our believers of Dpad, to the IDO investors who are following Dpad community.
So that's fantastic that you have 9 different parameters laid out so clearly like that, where you're checking the website, you're checking professionalism, the token visibility, that one's huge, market fit, the team, check the partners, check the white paper, and then of course check out their marketing. Awesome. Now,
Yeah.
does each one have the same weighting? You said they are rated from 1 to 10, but is each category just as important as the next?
Each one has okay, so right now we are evaluating everyone between 1 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we keep our mind that we try to balance that, like, idea is very important, token feasibility is very important, and market fit is very important. So while giving point for these things, we consider that there should be balance while giving points to other categories.
Okay, that's interesting.
And after analyzing all this thing, after giving points to every category, we also coming up with a final meter called hype meter. So we are providing that hype meter. Yeah. So that can be seen in our review articles also. We provide in an image, and we are also providing that in a graphical form called upcoming IDO information that is announced in our social media channels.
Upcoming IDO information will have will that include the hype meter?
Yeah, that includes hype meter. Nice. We are already posting that.
Awesome. That's interesting. Okay, looks like, do we have some questions here?
I have a question regarding, because uh, I frankly speak that he mentioned like all of those great points that
Mhm.
would take maybe if a if a single person is doing this job, I think it's probably we spend hours and hours, working hours to just research that. So I just have a question that, do you also consider the like project have different, like you are speaking about the language, that which type of or tone of language they are representing through their articles, but do you also consider one of the part, like they are also doing different, like different communities or different languages? Like I have seen many various projects that focus on like they have multiple telegram groups because of their different language, like one for Russian language, another is for Portuguese language. So do you also consider this one part, or you ignore this? Because I do think that it's like it would be great, because having a different telegram group for a community is much better, because it would connect people at a larger scale, although it depends from project to project. So I just have a question about this.
Okay, that's a nice question, Cryptowale. So here we have 2 points to consider. That
Mhm.
one point is uh, that if a project is providing resources in multiple languages, then for that part we count for points in marketing points.
Okay.
If project is providing 5 languages or 10 languages, then they get more points in the marketing department.
Okay.
And
Okay.
looking at their tone, they get points in the professionalism.
Mm-hmm. Nice, nice. That's good to know that you are considering this, because I do believe that having a different Telegram group for a separate community, it basically also distribute the burden of the admins or the moderators from the original main group, because they just only like have a, when they have a small community or a categorized community, so they can even build their loyal fan as well, because they found the same language speaking people from same of the region. And yeah, that's good. Okay, that's
Yeah,
good to know.
that's right. And Dpad will also introduce some different community channels for some major languages.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, the communities are a great way to tap into a lot of it. There's so many communities that that take advantage of crypto, and there's a lot to be. Well, that's what Binance did. They went after the 80% of the non-English speakers.
Yeah.
Was not a bad idea.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think now I will consider like the hype meter part and the well research for at least the project which is being reviewed by the DPAT for my research part as well. Now I think I have one more resource to be added in my kind of list of checklist, whether this has been reviewed or not. So probably in a long list of IDOs, you probably have so many research projects from here. And with the hype meter, I think some more information in the upcoming IDO part. I think that will be great along with the moon seat. So research part is like amazing. I think, yeah, if you have 9 parameters and probably adding more weightage to some more points maybe, or even 9 points are good enough if you like keep investing so much of time, because it takes, I think, 4 to 6 hours sometimes even to me to go and analyze sometimes if I want to like do it very deeply. Otherwise, usually I just skip many parts and just go into, if I have to make a conclusion in say 20 to 30 minutes, whether I want to participate because of the time barrier or because of the participation in the private sales. You sometimes you get a very less time to decide, because sometimes it will go out if you do a delay, and sometimes you just invest and then do research. So there is no point. But yeah, to understand the project better, you need to invest your time. And I think if Dpad can provide so much of research and review articles, it will be amazing, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, 100%. It saves an incredible amount of time if you have a report that has gathered into it all the important information already and you trust that source to be able to take a look at it. When I worked for an exchange, we developed their system for onboarding projects, and that's exactly what we did. We created our in the very beginning. I went around to our 5 founders and picked their brains to find out what all of them looked at in a project. And we came with 5 categories. And then inside those categories, we had 45 different like subcategories inside. So they had subtopics. And then we ended up doing weighted averages, and we ended up with 9 categories by the end because you just need them. There's so many things to look at, and as the space grows, it will only continue. Wonderful service.
Thank you, really.
We've talked about the hype of a project. What are you guys looking at when you look at a project hype, and what are some of the better examples of project hypes that you've seen, and what platforms?
So apart from the research part, I think the hype exactly how much growth happened in like after IDO announcement and how much activity being observed, how much people are talking about the locations in both groups, in the project groups as well as the IDO launchpad groups about the project, and how is the craving for basically the IDO location among the users in even private groups, and what is the performance, what is the bid and ask for the project in some private groups where basically people who got the location in seed and private round are being do OTC trades, how much hype and how much price they are basically bidding and asking for that particular token. Along with that, we usually see I usually see the factor of like how much likes and how much uh, comments, retweets, recent posts have got over the in comparison to the older posts. So that's the main thing right now. I am been like monitoring in general, like how much is the craving and basically how much is the price in the OTC groups if of that project, if it is being offered or people want to sell or people want to buy. So how much craving is there, it can be easily observed. uh, how much people are willing to pay for it. Like sometimes I've seen project like uh, even few good projects are craving, people are even buying private soil tokens, vested tokens for 5x. So you can imagine what it will perform when the idea will happen to be like even after that. So sometimes even we get like uh, we have seen so much of cravings that people are even buying so much of tokens of those launch pads, and for the just 20 or 50 or $100 for allocation. And sometimes people are even like bidding, okay, if you get, and if sometimes even people are like, okay, let's do a deal, if you get some allocation and if I'm also getting some allocation, let's share it, and so that we can at least some of us will get for sure. And in this way some people are even like exchanging for the ideal allocation for some other tokens. So much of things happening, so much of talks happening around that particular projects in those OTC groups, in the launchpad groups, or even in the project groups. And along with the activity, along with the views, along with the shares, along with the likes happening on the particular like recent post compared to the older post. I will not compare with only the recent post because some community may have so much of members, so it has to be compared with the older post. If you are going on Telegram in the viewed section, and if you are particularly viewing on Twitter, you need to compare with the older posts. So yeah, these are the factors I usually see, and while considering for the particularly for the hype of the project.
So you've mentioned Telegram and you've mentioned Twitter. I've heard a lot of NFT stuff goes down on Discord, and I've also heard that some stuff happens on Reddit. Any
Yeah. So
experience with
some,
any of those, either of those?
yes, in Discord also I have been so much of, like, I have interacted for so much of the, not especially for the NFT project. Sometimes you go and see, sometimes even for some pre-sale, like there was a temple, I think some project where you need to do a kind of daily prayers in order to be a part of that pre-sale part. So you need to pray for so many days, and you might get a chance, you might get your address whitelisted. So yeah, so much of cravings for particular project pre-sale part, or so much of for the whitelisting of NFTs. Sometimes you need to do so much of tasks to just get whitelisted in NFT for NFT minting process. So yeah, I have not checking Reddit part, but yeah, I do check Discord in general. If like a project is so much active on the Discord, usually for the IDO and IGO projects, we get Twitter and Telegram. For the NFT part, it's so much, mostly so much active on the Discord, and Discord is mainly for not mainly, but IGO projects usually go on the Discord as well. So gaming and NFT projects, usually we get so much activity around Discord as well. But
Oh, right.
yeah, but same things gets posted on Twitter as well. So because they usually share on all their platforms, be it Reddit, be it Facebook, if they are maintaining their profile on Facebook, be it LinkedIn. Sometimes do they do.
Yeah. Yeah. There's TikTok, and there's a few others. Instagram has still some crypto stuff on it.
But I personally feel like if we need to cover so much things along with the research, it will take a whole day or even longer if you want to analyze so much parameters. So you probably need to find your way, save your time, probably with some good articles like the DPAD shared for the Soul Chicks, and I think for the CIDUS. So if you are getting such research article, at least you will save uh, so much of hours, and you can probably see the hype around it and gets into it.
Well, and the nice thing about the report is it'll show you right where to go, and I'm sure you'll have the links to other socials so that people can check for themselves. But then they don't have to go hunting for it. They don't have to go running around for it, and they can see right side by side different ones that are being recommended. That's fantastic. Okay. Market conditions while IDOs happen. Can the market conditions affect an IDO?
Yes, it can definitely, and it surely hampers or sometimes even provides boost to the IDO performance on listing. So just let me give you an example. If the project is even hyped, and like market conditions are not good, people understand that okay, after TG it will surely perform because the hype is so much great and it will do multiple x's. But definitely, if that project is capable of 40x, it will do 20 or 25x. If the project is capable of 10x, it will do 7 8x. If a project is capable, just you think that on hype meter, or doing any research, or you are finding that project can do 2 3x, you will be now worried like whether it can go down, or it will go on under IDO price or not. Sometimes even while listing, it may make a week, and probably you will not be getting exits. But right now, with so much of vesting, you need to care about the projects where you are thinking that project will do 4x in good market conditions, and in bad market conditions where you are seeing so much of red candles in BTC charts, and market is in panic situation, and in the there is so much fear in the market, you will probably, or you might get underperformance of IDOs. Sometimes we get under IDO, and after a few days of good rally, good greenery around the market, that project itself grows so much. So yeah, it can, and usually does impact.
Oh, I'm sure. Um, the market conditions can affect all kinds of things, not just IDOs, especially when the market's going off or crashing terribly. The volatility, it splashes out. What well, we've got some questions from the audience. Oh, this is a good question. How to participate in a Dpad IDO?
I think Dpad.
Yeah, so
Can answer.
Dpad IDO will be, the IDO date will be announced very soon. It will be in the first week of January. So the final date will be announced very soon.
Ooh, that's exciting. That's exciting. So January.
We are also waiting to launch the IDO as soon as possible, because so many investors are in the lineup.
Okay. Exciting. So first week of January, we have stuff to look forward to in the new year.
Mm.
Market conditions during IDO. Is there anything a project can do about the market conditions? Is there any action they can take if the market conditions are good or bad, or any suggestions you can give to projects?
Yeah, so projects usually delay the TGE date. So it happened with even the most recent, most hype or most record-breaking project, Solchix. Solchix had TGE announced from like even from months ago. Like it was scheduled on 6th of December, but actual TGE happened on 13th of December. So according to the market condition, usually projects delay their TGE. So that is the one most common thing, I think, for the project side. But at some point of time, they will have to do TGE. So if their IDO is already happened, and for the Solchix, they delayed almost by 1 month, almost by 1 week. And for many projects, usually if you have private sale invested, they will keep delaying due to the market conditions. So I waited almost 3-4 months even for a project who were intended to do their like listing in June. They delayed somehow in November and some in October. So you can understand that how much they wait and how much delay they do in according to the market condition. It has nothing to do with the project development side, because they were no more, I think, or not improved much there on their roadmap side. But yeah, depending on the market condition, they did. And I think one of the project where I've invested heavily, and I know the team is working hard behind the scenes, and they are also updating, but they are like waiting for the good market conditions to just launch their private even exchanges has announced that okay, this will get listed, and almost 1 month has been passed. So due to some conditions from the market makers, sometimes due to the market conditions, they are just delaying it. So what will be the impact? Usually the private sale investors and the investors who are in panic mode due to the market conditions and due to so much of delay, they will probably dump their tokens, and that's the impact projects gets, and due to which they do not want to delay so much, but somehow they do try to manage according to the delay, so that if in the good market condition, that dump which can be caused by the basically the impatient investors will be somehow uh, managed by the average buying done by the usual investors in the green conditions. But in the red conditions, if you see the market is in panic mode, people will not try to buy IDOs, or even I mean after public listing, they will not try to buy projects, and they will probably wait for the market condition to be good.
Right. Yeah, you can't, delaying is a good idea, but like you said, there has to be a balance. You can't delay forever. And sometimes the market goes down. And when the bear season comes, it sticks for a little bit. So can't just delay forever. But yeah, it's good that they have to keep an eye on it. And I think not all projects understand that, which is another reason exchanges don't like to announce listing dates ahead of time, because they know that things can change at a moment's notice. Oh, got a question. What's the difference between ICO and IDO?
So initial coin offering was the like full form of ICO, and initial DEX offering is a full form of IDO. Along with that, we have so many terms right now, uh, like IEO, initial exchange offering, happening on centralized exchange like Binance, MXC, Gate.io, KuCoin, and there are so many other names as well of for those like listing FTX. These centralized exchanges do kind of see IEO, ILO like initial liquidity offering, IFO like initially farming offering. So much of terms right now, along with the INO for the NFT part, initial NFT offerings. So what's the difference? Basically, in ICO and all those terms right now I've used, they have a fair difference. And in ICO stage, which was happening in 2017-18 era, so much that even a project with a such sick, I mean, not crap website will was able to get so much of funds, even millions of dollars, and somehow like without listing, they were not caring about the listing, they were not caring about the community, they were not assurance of even that token will get listed on exchanges or even so much. So there were no ideal situation for the investor side. They have to be worried, and in ICO, it's similar like for the very good projects in the ICO era was like something like IDO of a very hype project right now. So they are sure that it will get listed and it will get listed on good projects similarly in that time, but you need to be fighting for the allocation even that time. And it was mainly for the kind of any project was able to get raise funds just by the smart contract or sometimes by just showing something. But right now, due to the IDO and the launch pads, it made necessary. At least you will have a good website. You will have so much of community. You will need to be sometimes being audited. There are so many factors right now we are considering before investing in the project, and the most important part is the immediate listing after like IDO. So if you just see right now, the project are have to be give a date for their listing after just IDO. So they usually announce that after 2 days or after sometimes even after 1 day of public sale or IDO, they need to be the token will get started trading on some centralized exchange or sometimes only on the DEX or sometimes on both. So right now the assurity of kind of that it will get listed sooner, and also due to the launch pad, they have been acting as a like a party where the funds is being kind of locked for a time period until it gets listed, and we have some definite announcement and definite percentage of funds raised being allocated only for the liquidity part. That is also a good part, that not all funds raised on the launchpad will go into the project hand, but it will surely be in the market. So mostly from the rug side, rug pull sides, it has been uh, good for the IDO investors or any investors, even in the public part, it has been acting good, and probably a lot of change in kind of safeguarding the investors right now. We have seen due to the IDO and the launch pads and so much growth. I think it will carry. I think it has been working good so far, and probably will, with addition of so much of innovation in this space, it will definitely be more advanced, and sometimes will add more security layers for the investor side.
Just another good question from the audience. What's the minimum amount I can invest in an IDO?
Minimum usually it depends on the launchpad to launchpad, but I think even $0.01 is the minimum sometimes you will see, but that is not the part. But I think $100, sometimes $50 is the maximum sometimes, and depending on the launchpad and depending on the allocation of IDO on that particular launchpad, you will get, and how much tokens you are holding, you will get the allocation. So depending on the hype also, sometimes if a project, on the same launchpad, you will get $20 allocation of a project. And if on the same launchpad, if same amount of allocation is available for another project and it's not hype, you will get probably more share because of the less subscription done by the many of the investors and less demanding by the other investors. So yeah, but depends on how much tokens you are holding and how much people are oversubscribing it for, and that's the I think minimum part. You can invest even $1. So there is no condition like you need to invest like $20 or even $50. So you can invest as much as minimum as you can, but there will always be a cap of a maximum. So yeah.
Will Dpad have a KYC process on their Launchpad?
For KYC, there will be voluntary option for the investors and the projects. If some projects want their investors to be KYC, then they can opt for that. We will provide APIs and we will provide this connection with other KYC platforms. And if project doesn't want the investors to be KYC'd, then it's not required.
Okay, so that'll be project specific then. So if a project wants to have KYC required, they can opt for that, or they can make it,
Right.
or they can opt out. That's good.
Yes.
All about choice.
Yeah, that should be their choice.
Right, for sure. Okay. Oh, that's just it. There's a lot of comments tonight, not questions. Just thanking you guys for educating and for covering these topics. So I think we're onto something here, guys. This is great. Okay.
I think Dpad should also do one thing, that the questions that get unanswered during the live show, that we may put their answers in one of the tweet thread.
For sure. So, and sometimes we may want to put those questions into a new episode.
Yeah.
Which we've gotten ideas from before.
Yeah.
I think if Dpad host can take some sessions on like today, he told about like how he to give points to those projects. Probably we can do a session where he shares views, or even the Dpad research team share views about the like ideas which are happening right now, and probably it will be a good discussion so that even people can hear it, and even we can try to add our research part, and probably it will make much more better. It
would be really fun to have everybody rate the project themselves and compare to your guys' ratings. Everybody do their 1 to 10 and see how you measure up.
Good suggestion.
I love when everyone does homework. I mean, it's the teacher in me. I can't help it.
So how about that everybody does the homework live on the show? So do you just give us a a project, and we just we mention our points that what we found great about that project. So it would be a 5-minute task, but if we do live, the audience would also see that in a short span of time, that how much of the points that we discovered that are benefits for ourselves, or what are the red flags we see in the span of a couple of minutes. Because sometimes we got to know about the project, but its IDO is a couple of days ago. It's on it has an IDO on just day after tomorrow or tomorrow itself. So in like some short span of time, or whenever
Right.
your friends calls you that this project has its private deal, but you have to only answer in 10 to 15 minutes. And you think that,
Oh yeah,
what-
investment decisions.
yeah.
These are great.
So yeah,
That will
every time.
that episode will be called rapid review.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So it will
And
be
there
great.
are some points where you can absolutely discard a project right away. You can look in 5 minutes and you might not know everything is good, but you can find some things that go, oh, you know what? Red flag.
Yeah.
Out.
The red
Nope.
flags project.
Not doing it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
It
definite.
would be fun. It would be a great fun.
It would be a lot of fun. All right, everybody. This was another great episode of A Little Late in Crypto. We talked a lot about project research, and we went over Dpad's 9 points to rate a project when they're coming up for IDO. Tune in tomorrow for another episode. This is Riri, your host, signing off from A Little Late in Crypto.